via Facebook streaming, YouTube streaming, and also via Skype. Each one of you is welcome to this live streaming from our studios in Trinidad. Sutras of Vigyan Bhairav Tantra in moments of extreme desire, be undisturbed. In moments of extreme desire, be undisturbed. The process of transformation of consciousness is a comprehensive process. It does not work only on one aspect. It encompasses so many dimensions. You are a body, you are mind, mind has emotions, and emotions, from that the psychology comes in. Each moment something comes in your body, in your mind, in your moods. So the first and the foremost requirement is disciplining your body to sleep, to food, so that the body is nourished and nurtured. There is, how many of us have seen the rising sun? And when did you see the rising sun last? There is an Indian actor. He says that ever since he knows himself, there has not been a single day when he was not available to the rising sun, or he has not seen the rising sun. So first you have to see the rising sun every morning. It happens at a certain time. And then the same will become the way to look at the rising sun within. What are you eating? Are you eating like a VIP, very important person? That everybody does. The moment you are rich, your diet pattern changes, or you are eating, you are a DIP. DIP abbreviation stands for disciplined, intelligent person's diet. What you need to eat, and how much quantity. The basic quantity is, for breakfast you should eat the fruits, and fruits should always be eaten first. Then you eat other things. And in fruits also, 1, 2, or 3 maximum variety of fruits should be eaten. And what should be the weight in proportion to your body weight? If your body weight is 100 kg, then multiply it by 10 and convert it into grams. So that means a person with weight of 100 kg, 100 multiplied by 10 is 1000. 1000 divided by the 1000 convert into grams, and that should be the consumption. For dinner, and lunch, the fresh fruits, fresh vegetables that contains enough moisture in it, and then the simple food, the weight should be 5 times of your body weight. In the same way, dinner again, fresh vegetables, and the total amount of food, cooked and raw, should be the same proportion. Multiply by 5 and convert this into grams. And dinner maximum, I don't eat after 6. Whether it is anybody, it pleases anybody or not, or displeases, it does not displease me. Because I cannot live because of your body. I have to continue the work for the process of transformation of human consciousness for the people. I need to maintain my health level, my intake at the level of the body, intake at the level of the mind through emotions, because emotions, what you eat and what you infuse into you, stuff into you at the level of the body and at the level of the mind in the form of thoughts, that affects you psychologically. Certain foods are very important. When we were growing during winter time, when the body temperature is lower, body needs extra heat. So there are coarse grains, they are very important, they should be included in the diet. So I used to say that we are rich, why we eat the poor man's food? Millet, 2 types, it comes in 5 different varieties. You get 2 types of flour, millet flour, which is known as bajra in Hindi, and finger millet. Finger millet is a little darker in color and it is much more nutritious. In cold places like in mountains, it is considered as an important food ingredient. And then sorghum, which is jowar. I have started besides using in the food, and for the sake of our customers, I am using these as an important ingredient to make pancake mix. Usually pancake mix is made with white flour. So I use the millet flour, the sorghum flour, and other things which could be incorporated into it. The same way there are some South Indian items which is fermented, and usually it is rice flour and the whole black bean, the washed black bean, which is known as urad, is used to soak, ferment, and then make the process. I am using in that millet and sorghum as well as that flours. Then for pancake, for the savory pancake, for breakfast item, you can make certain things. I had made it available, then I do it on my own, so that a certain amount of nutritional value is given to you. Based on that, in 2017 there were some the physicians who were given the Nobel Prize for determining the circadian rhythm, circadian clock, and circadian cycle, how these things are consumed in your body. So the spiritual development is not only giving you scriptural injunctions. In the past, masters have not focused on the food items, but the trend has changed. I don't know if others are doing that, but my focus is, but my own understanding is, the focus is also should be on the food, because emotions, the thoughts are the food at the level of the mind. The food at the level of the body is different. How the food is cooked. Cooking for Buddhas, cooking lovingly, cooking meditatively is my slogan, the way food should be cooked. What are the ingredients that you need to use in the food? No artificial color or flavor is to be used. In Chinese food, we use vetsin or monosodium glutamate. It is a kind of a salt which causes certain kind of diseases in Chinese people. So this product is marketed by big conglomerates. So because of the impact, the opinions against this, they change the strategy. Now when you look at the food packages and look at the ingredients, you will see they start using a different strategy. This is known as flavor enhancers, E320, 328, and all these things. So when I ask my suppliers to make the spice blend for fried rice, chow mein, and things like these, so I said I do not want any artificial flavor enhancers. The one thing is this: the Cantonese food, the oil is brought to the smoke point, so it leaves a residue which is considered as a flavor enhancer flavor. And then food is cooked. As compared to that, when Mandarin is cooked, the oil is not added in the beginning. The food is cooked without the oil, because every ingredient has certain amount of oil content in it. And then when the flame is switched off, then the oil is added. So the olive oil cannot be used. It is the sunlight affects it, decomposes it, heat decomposes it. When you are buying the olive oil, you have to make sure that it comes in colored bottles, dark bottles. Coconut oil, avocado oil, or clarified butter, ghee. They have a very high smoke point, up to 350 degrees Celsius. So from times immemorial, the Vaishnav word comes from the Hindu trinity Vishnu. So those who are the followers of that, they use clarified butter as the cooking medium. It does not get rancid. Once you use the soybean oil, sunflower oil, or any other oil, once it is heated, it gets rancid. So these things you need to be aware. Just holding your scripture and following this process of transformation does not happen. Then your eating habits changes, your way of many things changes with that. We have become the night goers, all the parties, and so they begin late in the night and go early in the wee hours of the morning, and then you go to sleep. So the whole pattern of life is changed. This you have to introspect, and if you need any assistance in that matter, as far as cooking is concerned, I can guide you what to do and how to do certain things. So in moments or moods of extreme desire, be undisturbed, not remain undisturbed or become undisturbed. Be undisturbed. In moods of extreme desire, be undisturbed. When desire grips you, you are disturbed. The two words, desire and disturbance, comes from the same root. It is natural. When desire grips you, disturbance comes in. Desire grips you, your mind starts wavering, and many waves, it starts wavering, and when waves arise, waves always arise in the form of ripples. They go on and on the surface. The desire pulls you somewhere into an unknown region that is future. The past pushes you somewhere in the future. Imagine, understand the anatomy and physiology of desire when it comes in. Doesn't matter what it is. You are disturbed. You are not at ease. Desire is therefore dis-ease. You are not at ease. You are disturbed. So the word desire, disease, and disturbance comes from the same root, dis-ease. If you understand, break this word disease into two parts, you will be able to understand and you can work on it. Dis-ease. So remove slowly and slowly what is causing you uncomfort. Remove it. We do many things out of obligations because it is a custom. You cannot tell somebody that somebody invites you, so you have to go, and they want you to eat this and that. No. My one word is, the stomach is mine. It is not a garbage bin that you can put anything into it. You do not make choices to put the things in the garbage bin. So stomach is not a garbage bin. You have to put whatever you want to put into it consciously. Not that if the food is tasting very good, you go on eating more. No. Everything, fruits, fresh vegetables, appetizers, main course meal, dessert. When you look at the total amount of food that goes into your stomach, at dinner it should not be in the proportion to your body weight multiplied by 5. So you consume. I am not saying don't consume if the need arises, but not on a regular basis. Then you are keeping that formula in your mind and eating it. What is, it has become a customary that we do not take the breakfast at home. We go, and when we reach, we buy a big portion of fries and a big Coke or a coffee or a donut and a coffee for breakfast. What are you putting into your body? And then you want transformation, you want your thought process. The sutra says, in the moods of extreme desire, be undisturbed. But how to be undisturbed? Desire means disturbance. How to be undisturbed? In extreme moments of desire, you will have to do certain experiments for that. Only then you will understand what it means. Let us take, for example, you are in anger. Anger is trying to knock at your door. You can, if you are aware, if you have a security guard will check the credentials of the person who is entering. So if you are conscious, you will realize that how the anger is trying to get into you. Anger, what kind of security guard you can put it at the doorstep before anger can enter? You have heard the name of George Ivanovich Gurdjieff. He was of Armenian descent. His family was nomadic, no place of residence. They carry their tents and the belongings in their cart or vehicles or whatsoever may be the mode of transport. So they go and settle at a particular place, do some trading there, stay for some time, then they move to another place. So his father was dying. He said, Gurdjieff was 9 years of age. He said to his son Gurdjieff, I do not have anything to give to you, but the experience of my life is condensed in one sentence. If you understand this and you start practicing, your life will be transformed. What it is? When anger is coming into you, postpone it for 24 hours. Gurdjieff's father told Gurdjieff, I tell you, postpone it for 1 minute. Anger is something now or never. If you do not allow to come in when it is trying to enter into you, next moment it cannot come. So sometimes it happened that there he is meeting the person and the person says, you are a very clumsy man. And Gurdjieff did not answer. He said, okay, I will come back. Right now I cannot think over it, whether I am clumsy or not. I'll come back to answer you, to respond to you after 24 hours. Or someone praised him or something. So sometimes when that gives you an opportunity to introspect, are you really clumsy? Are you really this, what the person is saying? Or this is the opinion of the person? Somewhere what he was expecting out of you did not get, so he made a snide remark on you, that you are this. You don't know the manners. But what you will do, you will start spurting right there. How can you say that I don't have manners? I have manners. You seem that you don't have the manners, and see what happens, how you interact in that manner. So after some time, when the person met Gurdjieff, you said, they told him that you said you will come after 24 hours. He said, madam, when I reach home, I try to analyze. I am really clumsy, and thank you very much for pointing out to me that I was also thinking the same way, but I did not have the time to focus on that. So I will try to be a little well-dressed person. Thank you very much for reminding me. This is the security guard when anger is trying to enter into you. When anger grips you, you are temporarily mad, possessed by anger. You are no more in your senses. Suddenly remember to be undisturbed at that moment. So what did Gurdjieff did? Gurdjieff became undisturbed by that. There at that time, even saying that that is your opinion about me and I do not live in the opinions of the others. You may find this sentence very good. I do not live in the opinion of others. Not necessary. Be undisturbed. As if you are undressing inside. Become naked. Naked from anger. Undressed from anger. Rather than putting on the garb of anger. Anger becomes a garb at the level of the emotions. Anger will be there, but now you have a point within you which is not disturbed. You have stripped yourself of anger. When you want to go into love making, so first you undress mentally yourself. Then it happens at the level of the body. So undress, strip yourself of anger when it is trying to grip into you. You will know that anger is there on the periphery. Like fever, it is there. The periphery is wavering. The periphery is disturbed. But you can look at it. If you can look at it, you will be undisturbed. But you have stripped yourself completely of the garb of anger. You are naked, undressed of anger within. But on the surface, it is there on the periphery. But deep down there isn't. This undisturbed point is your original mind, which I had spoken to you, that it is, original mind is mirror-like. It is inside mind. And on top of that, many layers of dust gather. Layer of anger and its related family members, frustration, greed, and all these things gather. So you know that undisturbed point, that you have stripped yourself of the anger. On the periphery it is there, but you reach to the point, the undisturbed point of your being. This is your original mind. The original mind that you are cannot be disturbed, but you have forgotten that you are. What is your original mind? When I speak something, just do not take it like, oh, original mind. Original mind never gets disturbed. What is original mind? Have you tasted the original mind? In certain moments, you can experience it. Now that you are becoming aware slowly and slowly through these talks, you will get the fading glimpses of your original mind. The original mind cannot be disturbed. It is never disturbed, but you never looked at it. You never reach to the point, you remain always on the surface. The waves, the ripples arise on the surface of the water, but deep down there is calmness. And that calmness is the real nature of the ocean, real nature of the lake or the river. You are a river, river of consciousness. When, if you remain on the surface, there will be ripples of anger, greed, frustration, and whatsoever you may call. If you go just below the surface, where you are standing stripped naked, you will realize that the anger is there, but you are not identified with anger. You forgot that anger is something other than you. You become one with it and you start. Normally, this is what happens there. You have never looked at your center, the original. When anger is there, you are identified with it instantaneously. And when you are identified with it, you forget that anger is something other than you. You are identified with it. It is me. It is me who is anger. You are not angry, but you are anger. You become one with it and you start acting through it, through the garb of anger, through the mood of anger. You start doing something through it. Two things can be done. In anger, you can be violent to someone, to the object of your anger. When you get angry, you throw things. Then you have moved to the other. Anger is just in between you and the other, be it object or the being, the person. Here I am. And then there is anger. And there you are. You are the object of my anger. Analyze it in anger. You are angry upon someone because of his behavior, because of the words that he has hurled at you. Anger is between you and the other. Here I am, there you are, and between there is anger, and you are the object of my anger. From anger, I can travel in two dimensions. I can either travel to you or the object, or I can move to the center of my consciousness. Center of my consciousness that is deep within me, where you stand naked, stripped of everything. You become the center of my consciousness. From anger, I can travel in two dimensions. Either I can travel to you, then you become my center of consciousness when I am moving towards you. You are the object of my anger. I am moving outward. Then my mind will become focused on you, the one who has insulted me. This is one way you can travel through the vehicle of anger. Riding the vehicle of anger, you reach to the object of your anger that becomes the center of your consciousness at that moment. There is another way. You can travel to yourself within. You do not move to the person whom you feel has caused anger into you, or who is the cause of this rising wave of anger in you. You can move to the person. You move to the person who feels to be angry. You move to the subject, not the object. You are the subject. You are feeling that this person has insulted me. Riding the vehicle of anger, you can move towards him, outward, towards the object. Then anger will become activated. Or you can move to the subject that you are. You feel that you have been insulted by this person. Ordinarily, we move outward. We go on moving towards the object, the person. If you move to the object, this is the dust part of your mind is disturbed, and you will feel, I am disturbed, I am frustrated. If you move within to the center of your own being, to the mirroring capability of the mind, you will be able to witness the dust part. You will witness anger as the dust, layer of dust on the surface of the mirror. You will be able to see that dust part of the mind is disturbed. The layer of anger that has covered the mirroring capability of the mind is disturbed. I am not disturbed. And you can experiment upon this with any desire, any disturbance. When the desire of sex grips you, passion grips you, the same exercise you can do. A sexual desire comes to your mind, your whole body is taken over by it. You can move to the sexual object, your lover or beloved, or you have suddenly seen a person in your office or on the street. You are filled with passion. The whole body has taken over you. You can move to the object, the sexual object, the object of your desire. The object may be there. The object may be there or may not be there. You can move to the object in imagination as well. This is what happens. We move to the object of our sex in imagination. But then you will get more and more disturbed. Further you go away from your center, the amount of disturbance will increase. Really, the disturbance, the distance and disturbance are always in proportion to one another. Further you move from your center, the disturbance will be there in that amount. The more distant, more away you are from your center, the more disturbed you will be. The closer, the nearer you are to the center, less disturbance will be there. The moment you are just at the center, there is no disturbance. Disturbance has vanished. In a cyclone, there is a center which remains undisturbed. In the cyclone of anger, in the cyclone when sex grips you, the cyclone of any desire, just in the center, there is no cyclone. And if you are caught in, sometimes in the river, the water keeps on circling. That is known as the bhavar in Hindi. There are certain, because of certain conditionings, the water starts moving in circles. Normally water flows in a particular direction, but here the water is not moving in flowing, instead it is circling. And once you are gripped into that, it is very difficult for you to come out. It is cyclone. And then the only way of that, the divers will tell you to go deeper, go dive. The moment you dive, you can swim through. You are away from the whirling water. The water is not cyclone, that is, it keeps on whirling in a particular manner at a particular speed. You cannot offset that speed. You will keep on circling like that, and you will remain until you are finished. So dive within. And when you dive within, go below that level. This remains only up to a certain depth. Below that, there is no movement. So from there, under the water, you are swimming to come across the cyclone. The moment you come out, you are saved. So anger, sex desire, or any other desire comes like cyclone, keeps on circling, and you are moving in circle in the extreme desire of sex, extreme state of anger, or any other mood. In a cyclone, there is a center which remains undisturbed, but that is below the surface. In the cyclone of anger, in the cyclone of sex, cyclone of any desire, just go below. Just in the center, there is no cyclone. And a cyclone cannot exist without each cyclone. It must have a center of cyclone. Each center, each disturbance must have a center of it. You become oblivious of the center, you remain on the periphery, and you are struggling. This is what happens. There is no rocket science in this, no scripture is involved into it. What I am mentioning it to you or speaking to you now, this is the practical application of consciousness and looking at any situation through that level of consciousness where you are. No psalm, no verse, sutra of scripture, or a particular saying of holy prophet or any other Messiah or prophet or messenger is needed for this. For transformation, you and your consciousness alone is needed. Once you have known that, you can discard all the scriptures. This is not blasphemy. When you discard the prescriptions and the empty bottles of the medicine, you are not disrespecting the medicine. It has helped you at a certain stage. Now you are in a state of health. You don't need all those things anymore. You don't need the prescriptions. You need not have the empty bottles and the packing of the medicines that you are so much preserving. You needed it so much. All these things are prescriptions that you need at times but now you don't need it. Just in the center there is no cyclone, and a cyclone cannot exist without a silent center. Anger cannot exist without something within which within you, which is beyond anger. That is the center of cyclone. Remember this, nothing can exist without the opposite. The opposite is needed. You look at the bar magnet, it has north pole and south pole. The magnetic flux charge moves from the north to south. And then from south to north, this magnetic field is completed. In act of sex, you are a bar consciousness. In the act of sex, the two poles of this is male and female. The energy must flow from one to the other. And if in your body, you know it very well, if there is more positive ions, electrons, not the negative. Negative means acidic. No, negative means alkaline. If there is balance between alkaline and acidic, you are healthy. If acidic increases the alkaline, diseases comes, and disease comes, then disease is housed into you. So it is said that you have to include the alkaline diets in your body. So how can food be separate from the process of transformation? In the act of sex also, most of the cases, it is the positive, the male element remains dominant and does not give importance to the feminine aspect, the alkaline part, the negative ions. So there is no fulfillment. The opposite is always needed. Without the opposite, there is no possibility of it existing. If there is no center within you which remains unmoved, no movement will be possible. So opposite is necessary, and then at the same time you need to have center which remains unmoved. No movement would be possible from this to the other. If there is no center within you which remains undisturbed, no disturbance would happen to you. Analyze this, observe this. If there is no center of absolute undisturbance in you, how could you feel you are disturbed? Undisturbed and disturbed, they are two states. Desire and no desire. So if the center of undisturbance is not there, you will not feel the disturbance. There will be no disturbance. So undisturbed center and the cyclone, they stay together. So either you can move to the cyclone, the periphery, or you can move to the center. So process of transformation requires you move from periphery to the center. You need a comparison. You need 2 points to compare the shining surface of the mirror that reflects everything and the dust-laden surface of the mirror that blurs the vision, that becomes opaque and blurs the vision. Suppose a person is ill. He feels illness because somewhere within him a point, center of absolute health exists. That is why he can compare the two, that I am feeling sick now. He had experienced the state of when he was healthy. How would you know that you have a headache if you have not experienced the state when headache was not there? You say that your head is aching. How is that you know about the headache? How do you know this is headache? Who told you that? Have you become aware of it? If you were the headache, you could not know. Headache comes to you. You must be someone else, something else, the observer, the witness, who can say my head is aching. Have you not analyzed it or looked into that way? Who makes you aware that you have a headache? The one who is the Then you identify with it. There must be someone who makes you aware that desire is arising in you. It is going to grip you. Then it grips you completely, you become desire. You become headache. But before that state comes in, someone reminds you, the witnessing in you reminds you that I am feeling headache. I am feeling sick. Does it not happen that you say, I am feeling sick? Who is telling you that I am feeling sick? Who is making you aware? There is something which has experienced the state of no sickness. The witness in you is the one that is making you aware that I am feeling sick. I am feeling headache. Move to that. We will continue this in tomorrow's session. Until then, take care and do have a pleasant day. The talks continues like this. Nothing other than this.